Right, welcome to Komba Movement Lab. Today we're going to be figuring out some striking and some planes of the body. So basically, uh, in Komba, we have a non-violent baseline for fighting, and we can do group fights. So if there's more than one opponent, you have to play in many directions at the same time, and it's a very good context for learning fighting, because then you're just not only to one direction, but you kind of have to live with the space, and the space kind of becomes alive, yeah, because it matters where you're standing. Like if it would be like a chessboard, it matters a whole lot, you know, what's your position in relation all the others. So we're gonna go through some nice striking that's gonna help you to be aware of all the directions, and yeah, how to make best of it. Basically, Komba, it's a platform for freestyle martial artists, and everybody is a freestyle martial artist who, you know, enjoys spinning stuff, things or like that. The flow arts is something that I've been doing for over 15 years at least, and in the flow arts, we have objects to manipulate and to become smooth with them. And basically, freestyle martial art is a more general term, where, for example, flow arts can be put into one's own fighting skills and knowledge, and also in action with others. So basically, the body has at least like three planes. There's one going towards the sagittal plane. So basically, if I do a straight striking, I would be on that plane. And then there's also the side plane, the coronal plane. That would be, if I'm spinning around, I would be working on that. And then there's the more general kind of it's called the transfer plane. So basically, it involved in a spinning motion. So anything that goes off from those other planes. And in flow arts, there's a lot of also like this plane thinking with the objects. So today I'm going to focus on strikes that work in these like diagonal planes. So basically, it would be like an X here. It would go like that, like that, like that, and then we would have the opposite direction. So yeah, let's do it. So basically, this kind is it's very nice for training. And when I go diagonal, so this would be basic contact. When we are training in Komba, a general term for striking, it equals to taking contact. So it's like getting the weapon or the hand to the other, so you actually have the contact, and then you can do possibly something else from it. Yeah. So when we are striking, we are primarily training our own movement, and we usually create like a pair of defending and striking. So the other would defend with the least possible effort. So the strike, and the point of the strike is to in a fighting wise, is to occupy the other, let's say, for 1 second. Yeah. So with every strike, there's not at all need to actually win with the strike. You just want to have 1 second of the time of your opponent, so that possibly during that second something else can happen. For if there's a larger battle and the person has to be active to many directions, so in there 1 second is a very long time. So basically some striking. So this would be the diagonal. This is the pulling in. So I strike and I pull in. And then I change to the other diagonal. So that's like you hit through the other. By pulling in, you always get your own sword back. And if you get to the skin and you have a weapon with a blade, it's also very useful to have that pulling or pushing action, because the blade actually cuts longwise. The axe chops like that, but the sword usually it's used with the slicing. So then the other one is very interesting. It's this bouncing. So I do that. It bounces back here. So from the X, I have both of the planes. And then there's quite a few nice things you can do with it. You can go with the bounce, you can go to the other side. And if I do directly to that way, you can see the planes from here. Anytime, also the pulling in can work, so then you can cross the other by that action. And in the battlefield, if there's a lot of players, active people, and you have to fight to many directions, then you kind of need to all the time be aware what's around you and what's behind you. And the easiest thing is that you have at least like 90 degrees that you're working with your position. So then you can see, you know, behind, and you don't have a blind area. But if you're involved in a straight, sometimes it's also good to look back. And actually, very nice moment to look back is just when your strike hits the other. If yourself feel comfortable that you strike, and you see the situation, and the other is occupied to strike, and he or she is so far that you know that they cannot jump on you on that moment. So you can do ta, ta. So let's see. Yeah, it's quite nice. This is just a plastic pipe. It's a sewer pipe. It's a very light weapon, and I have a very warm recommendation to use light weapons. There's several reasons. One is that it can save your joints in the long run, but also bigger is that as we, especially when we freestyle, we're developing, we're learning techniques. So as long as we don't know the techniques very well, we don't want to use much heavier equipment, because then we are stressing our body in a way that's not healthy for us. We also use some heavy weaponry in our trainings, and whenever the weapon is really heavy, it becomes like a functional fitness. Like here we have a weightlifting bar. So this is actually like 10 kilo bar inside. So I can do some. I do this for contact training. But usually with such a heavy object, is best to do straight movements, yeah, because they less stress the body. If you're with a heavy thing in a difficult position, sometimes you might, stretch something but in general, on the other hand, if you work with a heavy object, you're developing strains like rare muscles, because then the heavy object is in an unusual place. Okay, so that's everything from this time. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.